Yo, ladies and gents, it's your boy Thoughtless here again, and we're going to be talking about the Warlock's Arc 3.0 subclass, because this time we have already covered the Hunter Arc 3.0, the Titan Arc 3.0, and now is Warlock. And let me tell you, Warlock is also very hype. If you guys thought that Titans were fairly hype, Warlocks might be even more. Maybe, I'm not too sure. It's definitely a close match on that aspect because, man, like Titans and Warlocks, they're probably gonna become like my favorite two Guardians in the game with Arc 3.0 now. Sad to say, because I love the Hunters, but man, it's just the other two Guardians are just looking quite nice. So we got everything in terms of the super is still the same. Storm Trance is Storm Trance, and Chaos Reach is Chaos Reach. The difference about Storm Trance this time though is that they combined, just like with the Titan Arc 3.0, they combined the top tree Storm Trance and bottom tree. So top tree having the ability to blink around the map and having amazing mobility with its super. It also has the bottom tree effect where it does that like shutdown super like one shot ability where it kind of like jolts the ground in a sense like arc energy against the ground, and it like one shots the guardians if they get hit by that. So it's pretty nice. That ability did get nerfed a little bit, sadly, so it's not as good as it was like 2.0 subclass. But 3.0 Arc subclass is still really good. I think it's still the best super in the game. I think it's definitely better than Chaos Reach. Chaos Reach has its uses, don't get me wrong, it's definitely good. But I'm definitely going to be running Storm Trance just because of how much you can do with it and how many kills you can go on with it. Everything else is still the same in terms of Healing Rift and the jumps, of course, but what we got a little bit different is not just the melee, but we'll talk about here. So what I'm going to be using is Chain Lightning. That's what I'm going to be using in the gameplay. Here it says an extended range melee that jolts your targets and chain lightnings to nearby enemies. While amplified, it creates an additional set of chains. This thing is actually not that bad because if you're amplified, this thing just becomes so much better. And we're going to see how much better Demon becomes because we're going to see an aspect in a minute that actually makes this even better. Now, the other melee ability here says a Ball of Lightning. Fire an arc projectile form that releases a perpendicular lightning strike after a short time, while Amplified Ball of Lightning releases additional lightning strike before detonating. This thing is also really good because it's pretty much a melee ability that has range. Like it's a projectile melee ability, right? And warlocks were always very famous for that because of the celestial fire or things for the void, where it's like that like ball of energy they throw out and it could go quite a distance and hit people around corners. It was pretty good. Warlocks were always really good with their melee ability because it can just hit people around corners. It can hit people like from 50 meters away. It was just really crazy, right? Like no other guardian was capable of doing things like that. Like Titans and Hunters didn't have a projectile melee. Their melee was just in their hands. I mean, I guess what's it called, Hunters, they have like the uppercut type of melee with their staff, but that's as far as it gets, and that thing is not as good as I would say this ball of lightning is actually not that bad because it does technically break the shield, but it doesn't. The reason why I say it doesn't because it leaves you with super low shield. I mean, you can barely see how much shield the player has of how low their shield is. That's how weak this ball of lightning gets you. Now, if you're amplified, this thing will completely break your shield and it'll leave you super weak. It'll leave you on red bar. It will not one-shot you, but it will definitely leave you 100% weak. You can probably get maybe one tap by a Fatebringer hand cannon that has an explosive payload on it or something like that, right? And they just shoot the ground around the corner. It can probably one tap you with that. So this thing definitely leaves you fairly weak with amplified. But I do like this better because, well, you're gonna see right now in a minute. I am gonna be using Arbor Grenade. Like I always say, Storm Grenade is pretty good. Lightning Grenade is also pretty good. I mean, any other grenade you can use if you really want, but I would definitely recommend something like Arbo because it's easy to hit. Storm Grenade also fairly easy to hit because it has a huge radius, and then Lightning Grenade just because it has really good damage if you know how to place those correctly. But moving on to aspects, we got Lightning Surge. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to blink forward, calling down lightning strikes that jolt targets as you rematerialize. This is probably the best aspect in the freaking game, maybe. Now, obviously there may be like debates and like counter arguments, and it's debatable, but I feel like it will be. The reason why I say that is because it's literally like almost like Icarus Dash in a way. It was almost like a dodge. It's a dodge for Warlocks. Warlocks don't really have a dodge unless you're playing top tree. Well, not anymore top tree, but if you're playing Solar 3.0, right? And you got your Icarus Dash. That's the dodge for Warlocks. Other than that, Warlocks don't technically have a dodge. But now they technically do. This is technically a dodge. It's both an attack and a dodge. It's like all in one. So it's like having an Icarus dash, but it does damage now. You know? So and this is grounded as well. You can only do this while on the ground because you have to slide, of course. Now you could, if you're like on like somewhere high and you slide off the edge or the ledge of somewhere high and then activate it, it'll still work because you were sliding. Even though you were sliding off the edge and into the air, you're still technically sliding, so you can still activate it that way. But if you're trying to activate just by like floating in the air, it will not do nothing. You have to do the sliding part. So that's definitely key. The thing that I like about this is because you blink forward. See, like I said, you can use it as a dodge. So if you're like in a little sticky situation, you can just use this and get away from that problem and dodge away. You know, you do have to obviously slide. So try to make sure you don't get dead slides, as I do. But if you don't, you can definitely use it as a dodge, and it works fairly well because it also does damage. It hurts, right? It doesn't attack at the very end of the dodge itself. But it can, like I said, it doesn't attack. If you pair this with the chain lightning part, an extended range melee that jolts your target and chains lightning to nearby enemies, while Amplify creates an additional set of lightnings of chain. This charged melee is basically using up your charged melee itself. It uses up its energy. Whilst I activate your charged melee ability, so it uses this up. But instead of using a chain lightning, it uses a different type of charge. It like almost transforms this melee or charge melee into something else called a blink forward, calling down lightning strikes that jolt targets as you materialize. And if those lightnings do hit the targets, not only do they become jolted, but because you're using this melee right here, you'll start chaining lightnings from nearby enemies. And it'll end up becoming like a one-shot. You can one-shot enemies like that. And if you're amplified while activating this, you'll get the amplified version of this, where it creates even more additional set of chain lightnings, which is pretty freaking cool. You can easily wipe 3 players, probably even the whole team if you get lucky enough, and blinking forward and hitting the whole team if they're all like bunched up together. So it's really freaking good. This thing is actually not that bad. Now, of course, there's ways to counter it. Just stay away from it. The blink is not that far, so as long as you're keeping your distance and shutting the player down. You can also jump over if you like jump forward and jump over the person. You can definitely jump over it. You might still get hit by the lightning, but it won't do enough damage to actually one-shot you or kill you. But you can definitely like avoid it, and there's in those terms. You can also, if you're a hunter, you can dodge it. So if one of these guys like a warlock does this, you can dodge and try to dodge behind the warlock because the damage is usually in front of them. So when they call the lightning strike down that jolts the targets, that's in front of you. That's in front of the warlock. So if you can get behind the warlock when that happens, then you're good. You'll probably get hit a little bit, by the lightning, just a little bit, but it won't do enough damage to actually kill you or put you in danger, so to speak. Now, with the other aspect, we got Electrostatic Mine. Defeating target with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. Collecting an ionic trace makes you amplified. This is also probably one of the best aspects in the game, just because the way to become amplified with the Warlock is incredibly easy. Because if you defeat a target with an arc ability, so aka this aspect, or just your regular melee, or even like a grenade, because we are going to be using the Spark of Shock fragment here that your grenades now jolt targets, and it says defeating a jolted target will create an ionic trace, which the ionic trace makes you amplified. It kind of all synergizes. So as long as you're killing a target with an arc ability, or you're killing a target that's jolted, so if you have a hand cannon or any weapon and you kill a target that was jolted with your grenade, assuming you have this fragment, then you'll create an ionic trace. To collect that, you'll become amplified and easy. If you kill somebody that's blinded, assuming you have a teammate that's using like blinding effects, then that will also create an ionic trace, and you collect that and you become amplified. Just becoming amplified with Warlock just seems fairly easy because you can become amplified without putting yourself in danger. You can be like around a corner doing peek shots with hand cannons, get a kill on a jolted target, and then just stay safe behind the corner, behind cover, and wait for the ionic trace to come to you, collect it, and boom, you become amplified while in cover. Easy. You don't even have to put yourself in danger. So it's really good in that sense. The other aspect here is Ark Soul. Now, if you're a PC player, this is probably going to be complete trash because Ark Soul is really not that good. It's probably mostly good in maybe console lobbies because of the lack of movement that console players usually have. But even then, I still wouldn't recommend because of the amount of just power and the amount of utility and the amount of just crazy things that you can have with the other aspects is way better than what this can give you. So cast your rift to create an Ark Soul that fires at targets in front of you. Allies can pass through your rift to get an Ark Soul. Your rift charges faster when allies are near. While amplify, your Ark Souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. Now the amplifier Ark Soul is a little better. It does like actually get shots in there and it does do a decent amount of damage because it shoots freaking fast. But at the end of the day, is it better than the other aspects? No. I still don't think so. It's not that bad if you like running Ark Souls, go for it. It's pretty memey, it's pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely not gonna outplay or outbeat what the other aspects are capable of doing. Now for the fragments here, we got Spark of Recharge. You guys already know what this does. Your melee and grenade energy recharge while you're critically wounded. Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace. I'm just having this because I was trying something out, but if I was you, I would use something like after sprinting for a short time, your class ability regeneration is increased. That's what I would use if I was you. Spark of Shock and then Spark of Volts. I was just using this just for the recovery. That is the only reason, because if I don't have this, I end up having tier 8 recovery, and I did not want tier 8. I wanted tier 9. So that's the only reason why I'm using that specifically. I'm going to be using Ostranger. Phil Winters, I was using a grenade launcher, Canis Major, but that doesn't matter because while you see in the gameplay, this is disabled, deactivated, so I'm running around in the Crucible with no heavy. Like it doesn't even show up like on the bottom left corner of the screen. It doesn't even, or bottom right corner of the screen. I think, is it bottom right, bottom left? Frick, I don't even remember. But it doesn't show up. It shows that I don't even have a heavy equipped. It's just my hand cannon and shotgun, so it's pretty funny to see. We're gonna be running Crown of Tempest. I only ran this so that way I can restore my arc abilities as much as possible and pretty much just try to showcase my arc abilities and the arc subclass 3.0 as much as I can to you guys. So that's the whole reason why I was using this, because it reduces the arc ability cooldown, right, by giving me more arc ability energy. Typical mods, nothing too special here. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys enjoy any of my content, then subscribe to my channel. Help me grow, support me in any way that you can. Of course, no hard feelings if you do not want to. I very well understand. But let's get straight into the Crucible and let's see what this Ark 3.0 for the Warlocks is capable of. Let's go.
Your life. Zone C captured. Enemy claimed Zone A.
I don't even know how I hit my shot right there. There's sometimes I would shoot just like that and it'll miss, and then other times it registers. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like right there, I personally think I should have missed, but yeah, I hit that guy. Okay, well, I'm just gonna have to back up a little bit here. They're not gonna let me.
Zone A captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone B lost.
Really? Another one pushes? Jeez, man.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage. Tell them to line up fast. Team that fights together stays together. Zone B lost. Who says warlocks are better with books than with guns? Okay, you with me. Rage is an excellent motivator. You have advantage. Five minutes left. Keep it up. A team that fights together stays together.
No. God damn it. It doesn't one shot. What the heck? I guess I have to do it like on multiple people. Maybe it one shots when I chain. Because he gets really weak. So if there was like two people, like one more person next to him, and they chain lightning, I think that's when it will one shot. Because at that point they just chain lightning like crazy.
Down. A fire team that fights together stays together. Double down.
Can I get heavy? Fuck no. There you go. Woo! That's how you do it. If it's two of them together, it will one shot because they just chain lightning off of each other and they're weak enough to die from it. He wants to kill me. Save me. Alright, thank you. That guy is so weak. Dude, what timing, man. Impressive. I finally got that like melee aspect thing to work, man. That was never gonna get it to happen. But it feels so satisfying once I did. That was pretty cool.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
That works.
Zone B lost. Enemy has advantage.
Okay.
Zone B lost. Enemy has zone advantage. moments of clarity are weapons.
Oh, sniper? Where? I see you. Nice. Oh. I should have done the other melee. God damn it. I probably could have killed them both. Maybe. Oh my god, dude. I'm fast as fuck, boy. Oh damn. I wanted to kill that guy.
Keep the pressure on.
Let's see, will I get my...
This is amazing.
Fuck. Damn it.
You're winning.
Oh wow, no.
I
didn't think I was
and victory is yours.
gonna kill him, but I did get the opening shot to proc there. That's how I hit the 70 to the head from that freaking far.
Zone B lost. Enemy has advantage. One minute. Won't be long now. Your legend grows. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours. I could not ask for a better victory.
Nice.
Your victory gives the city hope, Guardians.
Nice, nice, nice. Not too bad, man. Could be better. Not too bad though. Pretty good.